Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. And the Jets came back with a loss versus the Patriots, 22-17. This game was an unexpected loss. Zach Wilson had a sluggish game, but even though he passed for 355 yards, and I just thought that he really killed the Jets, and that's the reason why they lost. It was because of his performance. He had a little comeback at the end, but he had some times where he had a lot of time to throw, but he was all over the run and shouldn't have just gotten rid of it, but he hung on to it for a very long time and just wasn't right. But I know Matthew Judon is a very good player, and he's standing up for his name. So the Patriots defense, I give them a lot of credit too. The running game wasn't that active. James Robinson's debut was this past weekend. James Robinson didn't really get going either. He had 5 attempts, 17 yards, and his long was 7. But I'm hoping this guy James Robinson is the real deal, because this year so far he has 86 rushing attempts for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. So this guy should be the real deal. Coming into his third year, I think, in the NFL. In his rookie season, he had 1,070 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. So he's averaging 500 yards a season. So that's good for his age. This young running back core should get going with Michael Carter and James Robinson. That should help with Breece Hall. And we also have Ty Johnson too, former Ram. But in 2020, Ty Johnson had a stellar game versus the Rams when the Jets upset the Rams for their first victory. It was a couple years ago. I think it was 2020. He was good then. So Garrett Wilson was a couple days ago was named Rookie of the Week. 5th time in a row that the Jets brought home a Rookie of the Week belt. Garrett Wilson had 6 receptions for 115 yards, and his long was 54. And also big name, not a wide receiver, but Tyler Conklin had 2 touchdowns in the game. He had one for a gain of 9 yards, and he had another one for 8 yards. So he had a combined 17 yards for touchdowns. So I just thought that Wilson could have played better, and his performance didn't really show. He started off the game great. I just want this guy, Wilson, to at least getting 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions, and he just has to learn how to not turn over the ball. But this, I think, is second season, right? Yeah, second season. But I mean, he's just coming back from injury, so I wouldn't be worried. There's still plenty of time for him to improve on himself. But he's such a young player that can still develop with his young core. The defense was explosive, having 7 sacks in the game. C.J. Mosley, 10 tackles. Tackles for losses. Jacob Martin was traded a couple days ago to the Broncos after Bradley Chubb was traded to somewhere. I don't know off the top of my head. But Jacob Martin's no longer with the Jets anymore after having a great game with the Jets this past weekend. 1 tackle, 1 sack, and one FF. And also, all around, I thought Greg Zuerlein had a great game too. Field goal and 2 extra points. I didn't think. Braden Mann also did a good job punting too. He had 1 touchback. 67 was his long. So all around, I thought the Jets had a great game, but I thought they had some silly penalties on the defense, like that pick 6 was a penalty on John Franklin Myers that brought it back for roughing the passer. So I just thought that there were some silly penalties all throughout the game that really caused key penalties that really caused the game. And after the Patriots on Thursday Night Football, I was just thinking that the Jets had a huge chance on the Patriots. But after, I thought that Zappe would play, but I thought Mac Jones had a great game too. I thought the Jets defense exploded him, and offensive line wasn't that great for Mac Jones to handle, so the Jets had a lot of sacks on him. And walking into the Bills game, I think the Jets are not going to have a really good chance at all. I mean, just looking at the Bills this year, they've been smacking up on all teams this year. After seeing the Jets game after them losing to the Patriots, I don't really have a thought process going into the Bills game, because the way Josh Allen's playing this year is unstoppable. And Buffalo Bills are averaging 29 points a game. So that's like almost half of the Jets' points they score in a game. And their running back, what's his name? Devin Singletary. He's having himself a year too. So I don't know how this Jets defense is going to play out versus the Bills. But after seeing the Jets defense this year, I thought it was pretty explosive. I think they can get more additions to the second interior. I think they could do a little better job with that. But I think everything else, they did a pretty nice job on their defense this year, Jets. And the Jets, they also have to learn to, they had 4 penalties, but Patriots had 6. So I don't really know what this team's going to do versus the Bills after the Bills beat 6-1, only lost to the Dolphins, but they beat up on the Packers, the Chiefs, the Steelers, Ravens. Packers right now are not good, so because the Jets beat the Packers too, so I wouldn't be worried. And then they beat the Chiefs. That's a playoff team. Ravens playoff team. They lost to the Dolphins though, so that was kind of crazy after seeing the Jets beat them. But their upcoming games are Bills play Vikings, Browns, Lions, Patriots, and then the Jets again. So I would at least like the Bills to lose to the Vikings. I don't know about the Browns though, because the Browns aren't that good. Jacoby Brissett hasn't been playing explosive this year. Lions are bad. Patriots, nah. So they gotta lose some games though. I don't think it's gonna happen, but the Jets got to take the division. They got to take the division this year. Got to at least hope they lose. You got to at least hope the Jets beat the Bills so they have the tie break. And then at the end of the season, December 11th, that's the game that really matters because that's the key division game. And after the Jets bye week, they play the Patriots again, so away. So looking into the Patriots upcoming game, I hope they lose. Because they play the Colts. So thank you guys for listening to my podcast. Talking with Tyler. So the Jets are going to be playing the Bills this weekend at 1 o'clock. November 6th at 1 o'clock. Jets are going to be home. I'm going to be at the game. So I'll be rooting for them all game. Trying to get this Jets key division game win. So thank you guys for listening to my podcast. And I hope you guys will listen to my next one after the Jets get a victory versus the Bills. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast, and I'm out. Jets, Jets.